By 1984, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson weren't just stars, they were champions. Magic had dazzled with Showtime, lifting the Lakers to titles in 1980 and 1982. Bird had restored glory to Boston with a championship in 1981. Each had proven they could win. But one thing the NBA still hadn't seen was the ultimate clash. Bird's Celtics against Magic's Lakers in the finals. The league itself was struggling to survive. Ratings were lagging, playoff games were buried on tape delay, and critics wondered if basketball could ever stand alongside football and baseball. The NBA needed a spark, and it was about to get one. The 1983-84 season was loaded with storylines. Bird was in MVP form. The Lakers were Showtime at full throttle. Bernard King was turning Madison Square Garden into his personal stage. But everyone knew the real story. Boston and LA were on a collision course. And when they finally met, it wouldn't just decide a champion, it would save the NBA and ignite a golden era. This is Bird versus Magic. The 1984 NBA season explained. Bird's MVP run. The 1983-84 season belonged to Larry Bird. Night after night, he dismantled opponents with a game that was equal parts skill and swagger. He averaged 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists, doing everything with an edge that broke opponents before the final buzzer. The signature performance came early in the season, on December 2nd against the Portland Trail Blazers. Bird erupted for 41 points, torching them from everywhere on the floor, and reminding the league why Boston's Garden was his personal stage. It wasn't just a scoring explosion. It was the calling card of a player in complete control of the game, a preview of the MVP season to come. Bird's Celtics were relentless. Boston stormed to a 62-20 record, the best in the league, powered by Bird's all-around dominance and a supporting cast that fit perfectly around him. Kevin McHale punished defenses in the post, Robert Parrish anchored the middle, and Dennis Johnson brought toughness in the backcourt. But make no mistake, this was Bird's team, and every arena he walked into, he made sure everyone knew it. What set Bird apart wasn't just numbers, it was the aura. He'd tell defenders exactly where he was going to shoot from, and then hit the shot in their face. He'd call his game winners in advance. He'd snatch a rebound in traffic, whip a no-look dime, then stare down the bench like he owned the building. By season's end, the MVP vote wasn't close. Larry Bird was the league's most valuable player, and he looked unstoppable. But while Bird owned the East with dominance and swagger, another star was turning Madison Square Garden into his personal stage, with a scoring run no one could ignore. Bernard King's scoring explosion. While Larry Bird was ruling Boston, Madison Square Garden belonged to Bernard King. At 6 feet 7 inches, with lightning-quick footwork and a jumper as smooth as silk, King became one of the most unstoppable scorers of the 1984 season. His mid-range turnaround was poetry. Defenders knew it was coming, and they still couldn't stop it. In the heart of the season, King delivered one of the greatest scoring stretches the NBA had ever seen. On back-to-back nights, he torched the Spurs for 50 and the Mavericks for 50 more, becoming the first player since Wilt Chamberlain to post consecutive 50-point games. By season's end, he was averaging over 26 points per game, finishing second in the league in scoring. But King wasn't just putting up numbers. He was putting fear in defenses. His release was so quick, his footwork so precise, that even double teams felt useless. In the playoffs, his legend only grew. Against the Detroit Pistons, King scored 46 points in Game 3 and 44 in Game 5, dueling Isaiah Thomas in an overtime thriller that remains one of the greatest single-game showdowns in playoff history. To Knicks fans, he wasn't just a star. He was the identity of New York basketball. But while King was lighting up the East and Bird was dominating Boston, out west a different kind of storm was brewing, one built on speed, flash, and Showtime. Showtime in full flight. If the Celtics were about grit and grind, the Lakers were about speed and spectacle. Showtime basketball was in full flight in 1984. Magic Johnson orchestrated the fast break like a symphony conductor, throwing no-look passes and igniting LA's attack the moment he touched the ball. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar remained the anchor, still unstoppable at 36 years old with his skyhook reigning over defenders. And James Worthy, in just his second season, was emerging as the perfect running mate. A blur on the wing who turned Magic's passes into instant highlights. The season delivered iconic moments. On February 5th in San Antonio, Magic put on a masterclass. 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 18 assists. A box score that showed how he could control every facet of the game without ever forcing it. Then on April 5th against Utah, history was made. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar rose into his skyhook and passed Wilt Chamberlain as the NBA's all-time leading scorer. Magic fed him the ball, grinning as the forum erupted. It was Showtime at its peak. Style, substance, and history colliding on the hardwood. The Lakers stormed to a 54-28 record. The best in the West, second only to Boston in the entire league. They led the NBA in scoring, thrived under the bright lights of the Forum, and carried themselves with the confidence of champions. For fans, they were pure entertainment. For opponents, they were a nightmare. One missed shot could turn into a Showtime fast break before you even knew what hit you. Boston and LA had drawn their battle lines. The regular season was over. The war for the 1984 championship was about to begin. Blood, bruises, in the road to Celtics versus Lakers. The war began in April. For the Celtics, the first strike came against the Washington Bullets. Boston took care of business in 4 games, flexing their muscle and setting their sights on tougher battles ahead. And tougher battles came fast. In the second round, they ran into Bernard King and the New York Knicks. King was already a scoring machine, but in the playoffs, he became a legend. Even with mangled fingers taped together, he torched Boston for 40, 43, and even 44 points. The series stretched to 7 brutal games, a test of wills where every possession felt like a street fight. Game 7 at Boston Garden became Larry Bird's masterpiece. With the season on the line, he delivered 39 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists. A triple-double that crushed New York's upset hopes and reminded the league why he was the MVP. The Celtics survived, battered but alive. In the Eastern Finals, they steadied themselves and overpowered the Milwaukee Bucks in 5 games, Bird adding a 32-point, 10-rebound gem in Game 4 that put the series out of reach. Boston was back in the finals, scarred from battle but hardened by fire. Meanwhile, the Lakers carved through the West like a team on a mission. They swept the Kansas City Kings in the first round, dismantled the Dallas Mavericks in 5, and then blitzed the Phoenix Suns. In Game 2 of the Western Finals against the Suns, Magic delivered one of the greatest passing clinics in playoff history. 6 points, 7 rebounds, and a jaw-dropping 24 assists in a 118-102 win. It was Showtime in its purest form, Magic controlling every possession without needing to score, turning the game into a fast break symphony. With Kareem steady inside and Worthy flying on the break, Los Angeles punched its ticket to the finals with ease. While Boston crawled through wars, LA danced into the finals. And for the first time since 1969, the Celtics and Lakers were about to collide on basketball's biggest stage. The clash that changed everything. The 1984 NBA Finals weren't just a series. They were a spectacle. For the first time in 15 years, the Celtics and Lakers clashed for the championship, with Larry Bird and Magic Johnson carrying not only their teams, but the weight of a rivalry that had been building since college. Game 1 set the tone. The Lakers marched into Boston Garden and stunned the Celtics, stealing home court advantage. Boston answered in Game 2, grinding out an overtime win to even the series. But when the finals shifted west, Showtime struck back. In Game 3, Magic Johnson delivered a masterpiece. 14 points, 11 rebounds, and 21 assists in just 32 minutes. A triple-double that fueled a 137-104 demolition of Boston, the worst finals loss in Celtics history. Afterward, Bird ripped his teammates, calling them sissies for their lack of fight. The challenge was laid down. Game 4 became infamous. With the Lakers in control and on the verge of taking a commanding 3-1 series lead, Kevin McHale clotheslined Kurt Rambis on a fast break, an iconic foul that flipped the series momentum. The Celtics stormed back to steal the win in overtime, tying the series 2-2, and then came Game 5, the legendary Heat game. The old Boston Garden turned into a furnace, with on-court temperatures soaring above 90 degrees. Players were drenched, fans were fainting, and survival became part of the contest. Bird thrived in the chaos, torching the Lakers for 34 points and 17 rebounds as the Celtics took control with a 121-103 win. It was a defining moment of Bird's career, a performance that cemented his toughness and leadership. The series stretched the full 7 games. Bird battled Magic possession by possession. Kareem and Parrish fought in the paint. McHale and Worthy traded blows, and every rebound felt like a war medal. In the decisive Game 7, the Garden crowd roared as Bird's hustle and Cedric Maxwell's steady scoring carried Boston to a 111-102 victory. The Celtics raised their 15th championship banner, and Bird was named Finals MVP. His place at the top of the basketball world was secure. But the 1984 Finals were bigger than Boston's banner. They changed the NBA forever, turning a league in crisis into a global spectacle and setting the stage for the golden era to come. How 1984 sparked the NBA's golden era. When the Celtics captured Banner 15 in 1984, it was more than a championship. It was a turning point. The Finals had delivered 7 games of drama, grit, and spectacle, and the world was watching. For the first time, ratings surged. Networks no longer dared to bury Finals games on tape delay. The NBA had become must-see television. Bird stood atop the mountain with his first Finals MVP, but Magic wasn't going anywhere. Their rivalry had finally reached the stage everyone was waiting for, and now it was guaranteed to shape the rest of the decade. Each matchup added fuel to the fire, pulling millions of new fans into the game. And right behind them, a new wave was on the way. Hakeem Olajuwon, Charles Barkley, John Stockton, and Michael Jordan, all drafted in 1984, waiting to make their mark. The 1984 season was proof that basketball could be bigger than just a game. It was personalities, rivalries, storylines, everything a growing sport needed to capture the imagination of the world. From Bird's grit to Magic's flash, from Bernard King's scoring fury to the Celtics-Lakers collision, this was the year the NBA began its golden era. This was Bird versus Magic, the 1984 NBA season explained. If you enjoyed this breakdown, drop a like, hit subscribe, and let us know your favorite moment from 1984 in the comments below. This is NBA Explained, and as always, stay legendary.